Welcome to the 11th episode of the Eye on Asia podcast. I'm Lay and I'm here in Manila with Joko to deliver the latest market research news and trends in Asia.
Hi, Lay. Hello, everyone. We hope you like our latest episode as we discuss interesting market research insights in Asia, as well as great tips on how to do video interviews. Let's get this show started and talk about the latest Asian news feature. For our latest Asian news feature, let's focus on Japan's aging population. Are you aware that 15% of Japan's population is well over 75 years old?
I have some idea about this one since I've heard that some of the verified oldest men and women in the world come from Japan. And I've read news about Japan having an aging population due to declining birth rates and increasing life expectancy.
Well, recent data is showing that Japan is indeed becoming a graying society. Before Japan's Respect for the Aged Day holiday last September 19, the country's Ministry of Internal Affairs and Communications released a study about the elderly population. The total population of people aged over 75 in the country is 19.37 million people, or roughly 15% of the entire Japanese population. On top of that, around 36.27 million Japanese are already over 65, which is 29.1% of the population. This makes Japan the oldest society by proportion of over 65, with Italy in second place at 24.1% and Finland in third place at 23.3%.
I see, so more than 1 in 4 Japanese are already above 65. It's good that Japanese people are enjoying longer lives, but this also means there are relatively fewer younger people, which is a bit disconcerting. Does the study indicate why this is happening?
The reasons why are not indicated in the study, but based on other materials I have read, healthy diet, regular physical activity, extended work years, and aggressive government intervention have helped the Japanese to live longer. This is also compounded by studies indicating low fertility rates in the country. What the study indicates, however, is that the share of the elderly population has been increasing every year since 1950. The National Institute of Population and Social Security Research expects the number of people above 65 to reach 35.3% of the total population in 2040, when the so called second baby boomer generation, or people born between 1971 and 1974, to post war baby boomers, will be 65 or older.
This will probably introduce some novel issues in the country, like having an older workforce.
That's right. Japanese government data indicated that employed seniors had risen for an 18th consecutive year, increasing by 60,000 to more than 9 million, accounting for 13.5% of the workforce. While the proportion of over 65s working in 2022 was on par with last year's 25.1%, for the first time, the majority of people aged 65 to 69, or 50.3%, had a job. It is worth noting that seniors are quitting their jobs due to the effects of the pandemic, with the government stating a notable decline seen since August 2021. And it's not just the workforce that is facing novel issues. The government is looking at changes to improve the healthcare system, reverse low birth rates, and sustain regional communities.
I see. There are a lot of consequences of having an aging society. Are there ways to mitigate or reduce the negative effects of this?
There might be programs that the Japanese government is preparing and doing, but we'd also like to ask our listeners, what should the Japanese do as they gradually become a graying population? Tell us your thoughts on Data Spring's social media. Did you know price range is one of the most important factors for Koreans when purchasing a new phone? The period for upgrading from one mobile phone to another varies from person to person. Some people keep their cell phones until they are worn out, while others replace them as soon as a new model is released, even if they are still in good shape. Life without a mobile phone is unimaginable. So when we ask our South Korean panel what is their number one consideration when changing a mobile phone, here are their answers. Their top consideration is battery drain time, followed by price range. It appears that having a larger battery capacity is crucial for South Koreans when buying a new phone. Get to know more about people in Asia with DataSpring. Now let's proceed to our next segment, where we share valuable and effective market research studies, tips, and tricks. Let's talk about video interviews, which became one of the most vital market research tools during the pandemic. While there have been small windows of opportunity to conduct face to face interviews, the unpredictability of upsurges in cases around the world gives market researchers no choice but to resort to online interviews.
If used properly, online interviews will provide valuable and insightful data for researchers, even if there's no actual physical contact. Here are some tips on how to improve your online interviews. 1. If possible, always use the video function. It is easier to establish trust and rapport when you can see each other's faces, as it helps both of you to read the situation and context of your discussions. Additionally, observation and delivery of nonverbal cues enable you to control the flow of the interview better.
2. Use secure online interview tools. The most common online tools for video interviews are Zoom and Skype, but these may still have some shortcomings in privacy, which can undermine interview confidentiality. Because of these, market researchers employ professional services that provide additional layers of security. There are dedicated online platforms designed especially for focus group research, like DataSpring's Listen In tool, which also has a secure backroom function to maintain anonymity if needed.
3. Record everything properly. Researchers would prefer to get official transcripts based on audio recording, but it is also recommended that you record the video, since it provides more nuance to the data and helps in understanding how respondents are expressing themselves. You can also use automatic transcription tools to help you quickly convert audio to text, but they're not 100% accurate, so you will need to check for quality. You can check out the free voice transcription tool built in into Google Docs, which is fairly accurate when translating English interviews.
4. Observe common video courtesy. Similar to offline or on site interviews, common etiquette is essential when doing video interviews. Basic pointers such as being prompt with the start time, making the appointment well in advance, and thanking the interviewees are very important to instill courtesy and respect on both ends. These are the tips that you should use to improve your online interviews. You may also find these tips and tricks in our blog at dataspring.com/blog if you want to read more about them.
This is the end of episode 11 of Eye on Asia. We hope that you like the topics we discussed here.
If you want to know more about Dataspring, you can contact us through our email contact@dataspring.com. For panel inquiries, you can contact them through services at dataspring.com. You can also visit our website, dataspring.com. That's DATASPRING.com. Our sales teams are available 24/7 to answer all your questions. You can also check out our social media for our latest updates. Just type in DataSpring in the search bars on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter.
That's it for episode 11. We hope you learned something new and interesting about DataSpring and market research in Asia. Keep posted for our next episode next month. Bye!